This conference will now be recorded.
See you, Jim. I see Paul. I see Mike. I see Roy, and I see Kimberly. Is Paul Smith there? Apparently not. Yes, who are you? Could you identify yourself? Apparently you're not coming through locally anyway.
Mr. Cameron,
Yes.
I believe you are caller one. Because when you speak, I see on my screen that it says the person talking is caller one. So
Well,
are you using your telephone?
it could be. Yeah, I do use my telephone.
Yeah, that's you.
So be it. Well,
If you start
good evening.
talking back to yourself, that's when we're going to get worried, Scott.
Say that again.
If you start talking back to yourself or hearing yourself talking back to yourself, that's when there's an issue
Okay.
on the phone.
Still looking for Paul or Howard. Howard's on a trip, but he said he'd call in. We still got a few minutes to wait for them. How to need Gage also to keep minutes. The clock is saying 6:58. Can anyone confirm that?
Confirm.
That's what, yeah, that's what I show.
Okay,
Find that too.
we'll give them 2 minutes, or a minute and a half, whatever it is. I don't think they're going to show, so let's go ahead and start. It's a special call meeting to consider the variance submitted by the Brents. But before we get into that, Arch, do you have comments that you would like to make?
Yes, Mr. Cameron, I'd like
Yes.
to welcome Mr. Paul Roberts to his first official meeting as a member of the Building and Standards Commission. Welcome, Mr.
Welcome,
Roberts.
Paul.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate it.
You get to vote now, not just talk.
Well, I will do so humbly, sir. Thank you.
I'm sure. Anything else, Arch?
No, sir. That's it.
Okay. The item that we're considering tonight is the variance 21-1813-BAR. Consideration of the application at the residence 21654 Boggy Ford Road. I assume everyone got a packet. And by the way, before we go any further, I mean to declare we do have a quorum. I assume everybody got a copy of the packet with the information required to discuss and consider. Roy, would you like to make comments before we get into the commission discussion?
No, sir, just not, except to explain that we did get the drawing. It complies with the basic requirements of the conditions. One of the earlier drawings showed the location of the boat. This one does not, but what they did instead was widen the driveway, not just in one place for the boat, they widened it everywhere. So, you know, the only concern that the staff has about that is, you know, we hope it stays out of the right of way, but you know, if that happens, we'll certainly cite it if we see it.
What is the city's position on the existing right-of-way to Boggy Ford?
In terms of, I'm not sure if I understand the question. I mean, when we have people that leave their cars or vehicles hanging out in the right of way, I mean, we cite them or, you know, ticket them or warn them or something. You know, it does occasionally happen.
Okay, I think I understand what you said.
Yeah.
I would like to ask members of the commission to make comments or discuss the variance as they wish, please. I see nobody's hand is raised. Right, Jim, go ahead.
I just want to, you know, one more time ask Roy if the city is satisfied with this drawing the way it's drawn. I mean, did they meet all of the stipulations that you put on them last time, do you think?
It met the conditions that the commission voted that they wanted to see again in the drawing. Like I said, the only real deviation is one that was not discussed. Previously, the driveway was going to be 12 feet wide and once again, we're only concerned with the portion of the driveway as it's in the public right of way. You know, whatever they can, you know, whatever they want to do on their own property, you know, within the limits of the impervious surface requirements, we have no concern over. But, you know, the driveway width grew, but other than that, it's compliant with those four conditions.
Okay, and so what, you know, what would the driveway width being larger, what's the drawback to that, to the city?
The fact that they now have the same opportunity to park the boat in the right of way as they do on their own property.
Okay. Well, that, like you say, that's on them. If you see it, you cite it.
Right.
You have to cite the house next door too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know.
Thank you, Jim, for stating that.
Okay.
Other comments? Other comments? Gage?
Yeah, Scott, I just want to go on the record. I'm still not happy about us letting this move through with the safety concerns regarding access to Boggy Ford. I wish we could explore some way to give them the kind of driveway that we want and not leave that access there.
You're talking about the driveway to Boggy Ford, right?
Correct.
I'd like to comment. I agree with Gage. When I look at section 3.125 of our city ordinances governing this process, subsection C, paragraph 2, it states that our charge on this commission is the Building and Standards Commission may vary or expand the application procedures or requirements of this article in any particular case when, in its opinion, this is what catches my attention, when strict adherence would do manifest harm to the public interest. Well, it seems to me that the entrance on Boggy Ford is contrary to the safety and interests of the public. Notwithstanding the other considerations, does that outweigh the pros, the protagonist for approving it? I don't know yet.
Okay, Paul. Go ahead, Jim.
So the entrance on Boggy Ford, is that legal right now? Does the city, I mean, without the addition, is it legal? Does the city allow it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
By itself, it meets the requirement.
So, all these people are saying is they don't feel like it's safe. That's why the house was built. They don't feel like it was safe. They'd like another option. It's safe enough to turn into. It's not too safe coming out of, backing out of, especially. And I understand that, part of the reason, and probably a big part of the reason for the extra driveway is the boat storage, but that seems reasonable to me too. And the only thing you can do about the driveway on Boggy Ford is have them tear it out, which seems a little excessive to me.
I agree, Jim. I think asking him to remove the whole driveway is excessive. What I'm looking for is there a way to make that drive inaccessible to Boggy Ford without short of ripping the whole thing out? Yeah, we have to remember that this variance was originally brought to us on the basis of safety concerns.
Am I allowed to speak?
Yes, you may speak, Kimberly.
My first comment that I want to make is that yes, our application was brought to you on the grounds of safety, but just like Jim said, and just like I think Gage said, ripping out our driveway is excessive. And to be totally honest, you guys didn't care about our safety when you permitted this to keep moving forward, even if it did vary from what was sent to you guys from our contractor. This wasn't us that did this. This was the contractor that then was granted a certificate of occupancy from the city. And that was a problem that should have been addressed then, not now that we're trying to put in an extension and you guys are just taking control of this situation. And like the original packet, it stated that there was numerous reasons for wanting this variance, but we were only able to write so much on the little lines that you guys provided. I provided an additional letter in the packet explaining everything else, and you guys can't take away us trying to make a house a home. And in the name of this whole thing, you guys have chopped down a tree. The whole tree in the front yard is gone. And if you're going to talk about citing things in the right of way, then watch my property like a hawk. Watch where I park the boat. This is honestly getting to a point that it doesn't make sense, because as you see in my pictures, my neighbors, I can't see around their vehicles. I can't see through their boat. I can't see through the mailboxes that go with the natural curvature of the road. And all of this is just so frustrating to hear you guys say that the only solution is to make the entrance onto Boggy Ford inaccessible. We are trying to have both. We're not trying to eliminate using our Boggy Ford driveway. We're trying to eliminate backing out. And we can pull through our Oregon driveway if you guys allow it and eliminate that issue.
More comments from anyone? Okay, we've had some discussion. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance as it's depicted on this drawing.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mike?
Yes.
All right. We have a motion. It's seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, we'll call a vote. Those in favor of granting the variance as depicted on the latest sketch submitted to the city, vote aye by raising the right hand. Should have at least two. There's 3, 4. All those opposed? All right, we have 4 approval. Again,
What was the vote was what, Scott?
4 to grant the variance, 1 to deny it.
4 for and 1 against.
Correct.
Okay, everybody, it looks like you got your variance.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
At this point, I can ask if anyone has any future agenda items they would like to suggest.
I do, Mr. Chairman.
All right, go ahead.
Future agenda items, could we be talking about formation of a subcommittee for the proposed language to submit to council regarding permits and builders, such as was discussed at the last meeting?
I think he's talking about the licensing registration.
Yes, that's
Right. I understand. Did you get my memo, Paul?
No, sir, I did not. Oh, I did see, that's right, I did see an email, but I wasn't regarding the subcommittee, but I was a little unsure without knowing the offline back history of that conversation regarding the formation of a subcommittee.
Well, in the email, I think it was an email I sent to members of the committee saying that we would wait to have a subcommittee meeting after the May 5th meeting because there's information that Aaron was planning to present to us that would be helpful in our decision. And because of the workload, that was being delayed.
Okay.
So I plan to call the subcommittee meeting in May after our regular meeting.
Okay, great.
Any other suggestions? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second? If we don't have a second, we'll go ahead and adjourn.
Second it.
I can hear Aaron laughing in the background.
All right. I guess I have to call for a vote since we have a second. All those in favor of adjourning, please raise your right hand or a hand. All right, meeting's adjourned, 7:15.